Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
assholeconsulting.com. Hey, I got a fun request. I get to go look at a map, and there's no wrong. Well, there's a wrong answer. It's go east, young man. Go east. That's good news for this guy. Dear asshole, I'm requesting a video response for a motorcycle trip from Des Moines to the West Coast again. Starts September 22nd until November 1st. Ow! Oh, God damn it! Can't you do it now? Okay, I will be, how many, motorcycle, I will be on 60 days of leave as I retire. This is a 1 month, okay, so 1 month more. So my wife is working, my daughter's in school, so I'm being paid to take the dream road trip. I have one man tent, goose wingman of the road, take look. I plan on staying in campgrounds as much as possible in order to have more cash for gas and fun. I prefer north to south loop and have plenty of time for detours. My veteran status also gets me a free pass to national parks, so please include some on your recon to any of the spend a day or two at X places. Your last video was great, however, I have at least doubled the time, but the mid-autumn starts to concern me, so barring the Zentradi or Invid Invasion, good reference there, both the first and the second Robotech Wars, I have nothing to keep me from completing an epic road trip. Go nuts with this. Thank you, Matt. P.S. I will check the fucking spam folder, good man. P.S. I have thought to fly my wife to Vegas for a couple days during the trip. If you have another idea, please give me your thoughts. No, that's what me and the GF do, is I'll be out gallivanting and adventuring, and she has a real job. And I'll be in, Seattle. We've done that a couple times, and then we got buddies in Seattle. I will be in Vegas, and then... of course, we have the Southern Command down there, so my buddy is always down there. Phoenix, yeah, there's been a lot of play. Denver, she's flown into, so that's a great way to kind of like split up. Because a month long, yeah, you're going to start to miss your wife. It's so long you even start to miss your wife. No, it's not possible. Well, sometimes it is. But yeah, I think that'd be a great idea to fly there. All right, I'm going to tell you this now. You're going to need to be flexible with your trip, because even if you leave September, that's late September, you can have snow in these passes. It will be cold. It'll be cold in July in these passes. So it's going to be tough, man. You're going to have to really look at weather. Pray to God you don't get snowed in, which is unlikely to happen, but it can happen. Man, I've driven through 37 degrees rain in late May in Utah, and they said, "Oh yeah, it was just snowing up the road from you," and then it thankfully got warm and it was water and not snow, because snow on a motorcycle sucks. So the 22nd of September, you're gonna be adapt. That's gonna be the game plan, and you got to look at nationwide, and you're gonna have to be willing to drive like 700 to 800 miles in a day, not every day. But if you got to get on to this town before that storm hits, so I'm going to give you a tentative plan, and you are going to do north first, and you're going to get the fuck out of the north. I'd almost, just to be safe and be comfortable, there's nothing worse than driving in cold, wet weather. And there's going to be guys, but you get the gear for it. It's like, it still sucks. Let's check Des Moines, Iowa. Boring town, by the way. I've been through it a couple times. All right. Let's go here. Union Des Moines. I asked you, did you hit the Black Hills? So I'm asking for it stops there. Absolute must-sees. Black Hills, Tail of the Dragon. Well, Tail of the Dragon's out Tennessee. I'm not going to send you that way. The Black Hills, that is going to be your first shot, I think. It'll still be warm. You'll have the Chinook effect. And what I'm going to have you do is you're going to go to Omaha, to Sioux City, follow the Missouri River up. You could go up to Sioux Falls and cut over. That might be worthwhile. You could go through Yankton, and there really isn't a good route that follows the Missouri River there, but it's going to be a little bit more scenic. But I'd just shoot up to Sioux Falls. Sioux City, Sioux Falls, over to Kadoka, and you're going to do Badlands National Park. I think it's about the same distance. Iowa to Kadoka, South Dakota. How many hours is that? 7, yeah. So this is going to be a long-ass day for you, but you're going to leave early in the morning. You're going to go to Kadoka. You're going to enter. Kadoka is not the, it's the last town you're going to see before you enter. You have the exit for Badlands National Park. You'll do Badlands National Park. You're going to go through the rim. What I would then also recommend you do is you drive down to Scenic. There's going to be some dirt roads there. You don't have to do that. You could drive on the Kanata Road, but you will take the entire loop to Sage Creek Park. Where the hell's that road go? God damn it, Google. It's sad that I know more about the damn maps. There's not even the road. There it is. You're going to want to take this the Kanata Road. So putz around there, go down the Kanata Road. Do Highway 44. You look at a map, take 44. Take 44 into Rapid City. And putz around on those other... There's this main arc, this crescent you do on the north rim of the north unit of the Badlands National Park. If you got the time, I'd putz around, like drive from Scenic to Kanata. You can look at the map. You're going to want to write these down. Don't be listening to this video and try and drive at the same time. The Stronghold unit is all right. There's not a lot of trails or roads, and then you got to go through the Indian Reservation. Nothing wrong with it, but you're really putting yourself in the middle of nowhere. So I'd do that northern unit. Then go into Rapid City. Crash in Rapid City. I would spend a good couple days in Rapid City. The main ones I would hit, Mount Rushmore, Spearfish Canyon, Deadwood. Those are the main ones, tourist destinations. What I would do is a loop from Keystone, and outside of Keystone, write this down, 16A. You take 16A to the Black Hills Roadhouse. You say, well, I'm not going to the Black Hills Roadhouse because that's the mark. And then you'll take that road, which is, what is it? 16A. Yep. That's a beautiful drive. There's South Playhouse Road. You're going to take that to 87. 87 will bring you in the back door to Mount Harney, Lake Sylvan Park area. That's just a beautiful ride. That entire loop is just going to be in an 87, and then you're going to go right on Highway 89, and you're going to go to 244, and then you'll come back and you'll go past Mount Rushmore on the way back. There are many, many, many rides you can do in the Black Hills. That is probably the prettiest one. And I could have you spend an entire month in the Black Hills, but I'm not gonna. Sturgis, there's nothing. Stop at Sturgis. You get gas. Hey, it's Sturgis. I was there, and it's a dead town without the people. I would skip I mean, you could putz around, but those are the main ones. Deadwood, Spearfish Canyon. You could do that in one day. Heck, I think you could do all that one day. Deadwood, Spearfish Canyon, that's a loop, although you may want to spend a little bit of time in Deadwood. And then that loop I just told you out of Keystone, 16A, Black Hills Playhouse, 87, 89, 244. And there's that. All right. Then you're going to check conditions. And if you have the time, what I'm going to recommend you do is you go out to Buffalo, Wyoming. You're going to see if the pass on Highway 16 can get you to 10 Sleep. You're going to take 10 Sleep to Worland. I'm sorry, 16 to Worland. You're going to go north on 20. In Graybull, you'll go west on 14 to Cody. If you leave early enough and weather conditions allow for it, I would skip Yellowstone. If you want, go ahead, hang out in there. I'm not that impressed with it. And what the most pretty part of the Yellowstone area I thought was Beartooth Pass. So you may want to get your next, like maybe you spend a day or two in South Dakota, spend your last night in Spearfish. That puts you on the west side of the Black Hills. Or if you can make it to Buffalo. Buffalo, I'd recommend you stay at the Occidental Hotel. That's we're staying at, and that'll put you that much closer. But then your next place would probably be Red Lodge. We could do Beartooth Pass. If for whatever reason the timing gets you there and you want to go putz around Yellowstone, you can do that if the weather is nice. It's pretty, but it's not as mountainous as you think it would be. Grand Tetons are alright, but I'm not that impressed with them. Okay, then it gets interesting. I don't want to send you into Canada. Not in September because your time, the sun's going down sooner. If you want to make a ride out to Glacier National Park, you can. It better be really nice. The temperatures better be really nice because if you're gonna go through any of these passes, they can snow over real early. They get cold up there, and then on top of it, you're going to have to go over some mountain passes anyway, the way I'm going to send you, which is through Missoula, over the panhandle of Idaho. I would stop in Wallace if you just want to see an old mining town. It's really kind of cool. Coeur d'Alene you're going to go past. You could, and I'm not going to tell you where to stop. I'm going to tell you places you can stop, but I don't know what your timing and your schedule is going to be like by this time. Coeur d'Alene is a nice town to stay in. Wallace is a nice old town to stay in. Kellogg was fun, but you're going to see this corridor coming off the mountains into Coeur d'Alene, off the Rockies there, was just a bunch of little silver mining towns. And Wallace is the coolest of them all, I'd say. Then you're going to get to Spokane, and then I'm going to have you go to, where to go? Leavenworth. Leavenworth is pretty. You can ride through the Highway 2 into Seattle, but that's only if you really want to go to Seattle. I'm not sending you Vancouver. Vancouver's going to be a different trip. That's got to be a summer trip. I know you're that close. Again, if you got time, I can't stop you. But that Leavenworth area is very nice. Again, this all depends on snow. You're going to be checking for snow the entire time. If that's not a shot, now I'm not even going to have you go into Seattle. What I recommend is you go to Leavenworth, you drive to the Continental Divide, drive along Highway 2, get to this town, and then turn around. Don't even go into Seattle. Make it to Gold Bar. Just some beautiful mountains and waterfalls there. Then you go back to Leavenworth the way you came. I guess you could take this bypass. What is this? I've done it before. 203. You can take that bypass back to Highway 90. But I'm going to have you go down. And is it Chinook Pass? Is this it? I think it's Chinook Pass. I would do Chinook Pass. And then you wanted to go to the Pacific from Chinook Pass. What pass is this? Yeah, that's it. 410 is Chinook. Is that the one that came out of Yakima? Natchez. Yeah, there's Yakima. You're going to want to take 410 to 123. And then head down to 12. And then where do I want you to hit the 101? That was dreadfully boring. Yeah, that 101. I would go to Highway 5, Interstate 5, go to Longview, and then follow the Columbia River. I think the north route looks better because it's by the river. Yeah, follow that. What road is that? It's a spur. That's Highway 4. Then cut back across the Columbia River at Astoria. That's where the Goonies house is. They have it blocked off. I was very upset. And then you're going to follow 101 all the way down to... Well, you can follow that all the way down to the Pacific if you want it. I would say take a break Here it is, 22, Highway 22, off of 101 in Oregon on the way to Salem. I would take that for the, 20 miles? That was some of the funnest riding. That was very much like Dragon's Tail. So you'll get a little bit of a Dragon's Tail action here. You could continue on to Salem if you wanted. It's not that exciting of a town. And then just turn around, go back on that 101, and drop south. Now, here's the problem. That is as much as I've experienced of 101. Because then I went into Salem, then I dropped down on 5, and then in Eugene, I dropped down. So I'm just going to have you go with this route. 101 could be beautiful the rest of that way. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I do know there is a very nice ride. You're going to take 20. Oh, not 20. In Florence, there we go. You're going to take Highway 126 to Eugene. Eugene, you're going to take 58 towards Oak Ridge. And you're going to go through some beautiful mountains, some beautiful riding. You're going to see a mountain off in the distance called Diamond Peak. It's beautiful. Checking weather, checking snow. And you're going to take 97. Now, don't be a dope like me and say, oh, the exit for Crater Lake National Park should be here somewhere. Take 138 off of 97, all right? You're going to want to be getting gas, though, by the way. This is a little bit desolate, but get gas in Chemult. And then do Crater Lake National Park. 97, you're not missing anything. I'd stay on 62. And then Klamath. There's Klamath Lake. That's in Klamath Falls. Klamath Falls has a nice little diner I like to stop in. But that was just a diner. Now, here's where, what did I do? I didn't do 90. I went down, yeah, Reno. I did 395. Oh, no, I didn't. I was in a rush to get to Reno. It looks like it's very prettier if you're in the north side of Klamath Lake to cut over into Medford. And then this looks very interesting. Just me, but Highway 96 in Northern California, is that? That looks beautiful. Looks like there's a nice big ass lake from Hornbrook to Happy Camp down to Willow Creek. That just looks wonderful. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe look at some pictures of Six Rivers National Forest and Klamath National Forest, but that just looks beautiful. Then to Redding. Then you're in mid to Southern California, which should be nuked. I would then somehow make your way to Lake Tahoe. An interesting route seems to be from Redding, take your scenic route. What road is that? This isn't the route I was at, 3689. Oh, I remember I was looking at this because it was going to snow and rain and all that other shit. That you really got to pay attention. 89, yeah. So snow might determine that. Lake Tahoe, if you haven't been there, it's pretty cool. I'd ride around it. You being from the Midwest, you've probably seen lakes. This is one of the nicer, bigger ones. I'd definitely do the loop around it. I'd crash in Reno. It's kind of cool. Fallon's a neat little town, but not all that said. But I'd just stay in Reno since you're there. From there, 395 and do the backdoor entrance to Yosemite National Park. That is definitely worth seeing. I am not familiar with Kings Canyon National Park, but that's there. Sequoia National Park, Sequoia Forest, no, that's not that interesting, not that exciting. I'd skip Death Valley, and you're going to see there is no logical, straight way to figure out, well, how do I get there? It's all going to depend on weather and all that, but I would do 395 down Yosemite, Kings Canyon. Death Valley was just kind of because you'll have seen so much cool stuff. Death Valley just be like it's the Valley of Death. What else do you want to say about it? But then you're going down to Los Angeles, and I would avoid Los Angeles with all of your might. So if there's a couple roads here, let's take a look. There's Yosemite. There's Kings. You can't hop the fence. Yeah, there's no roads to go there. You're going to want to try and get to, it looks like you're going to have to drop all the way down because you're going to come through Yosemite. Yeah, you're going to be on that side. You're going to go through Fresno. Nothing hops over. You're going to be forced to go to almost Bakerfield to cut over to 395. Here's Barstow. All right. I wanted you to do this. Let's have you go through Death Valley anyway, because that stretch from Barstow to Vegas is boring as hell. It's somewhat interesting in Death Valley. It'll be warm, hopefully. You could stop and you can exit out of Death Valley, either going to Death Valley Junction and Amargosa. I always call it Amarosa Valley. Rhyolite, there's an old abandoned ghost town that's kind of cool. Beatty, you're just going to go through Death Valley. I would say probably the prettier approach, where was it? There's Shoshone. I would go into Death Valley, take 190 out, and then drop down on 127 to Shoshone and cut over to 160. Pahrump, you're not missing anything. Tacopa, that was a cool little ride. From Shoshone to Tacopa, it's a paved road, and they'll take you to 160. Then from 160, you go to Las Vegas. And if you happen to be there, let me know. I will, if I'm in town, I'll show you around. Thus far, aside from the Black Hills, and you could stop in at any place you want. I'm sure you might like Tahoe. I'm sure there's plenty of places that you'll fall in love with. I just have a particular soft spot for the Black Hills. But if any of these places you're like, I want to see, there's a lot of these little coastal towns, Garibaldi, Cannon Beach, it's just little towns along 101. Some people say Clary's nuts, follow 101 all the way down and then cut over. I don't know. It's up to you. But then we start to enter the world that I'm more familiar with yet once again. What I would do from Vegas. Oh shit, that's right, we got Utah. Fuck. I got it. I got it. You're on the west side. What you're going to do is you're going to drop into Phoenix. If you have to go to Flagstaff to see, if you haven't seen the Grand Canyon, go see the Grand Canyon. I would not try to bank on hiking it. Just go to look at it for the sake of looking at it. Spend a couple days in Vegas, rest up, stuff like that. But then go to the Grand Canyon. You just have to see it. Hiking it is a separate vacation unto itself. You probably want to spend at least 4 days out there, and you're going to be too exhausted with all this riding, even if you stored up in Vegas. I'll do the Grand Canyon, crash in Flagstaff, and then I do Flagstaff down to Sedona, to Jerome, to Prescott, to Wickenburg, to Phoenix. Don't go down the interstate. Do that ride. Make sure there's no snow in the mountain in Jerome, which can happen. Then you're in Phoenix, and before you leave before you leave Iowa, I'd make sure you have your passport. I make sure you set up motorcycle insurance and bring your registration as well. And I'd recommend you drive down south of the border to Puerto Penasco, and you spend a day or two there. If your wife isn't with you, a day is enough. You'll be bored because it'll just be you. And you'll see the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Most beautiful beaches. Head back across the border. Where is it? Is it Holbrook? Where is one? There it is, 191. You're going to hang a right in Y. Don't ask why. Go to Tucson, 110 to 191. You're going to follow 191 all the way up to 40. Oh, dang it. You're going to miss the crater. Oh, shit. All right, here's what you do. While you're in Flagstaff, because it's not going to take you that long to ride to Phoenix. So you're in Flagstaff, right? You're going to shoot out east along Highway 40 and go to the big crater. Okay, you're going to go over that crater. That's the coolest. It's worth the $5 they charge. That's going to take you maybe an hour and a half round trip, or maybe 2 hours. So you still have plenty of time to do the Flagstaff, what's it called? Flagstaff, Jerome, Prescott, Wittenberg route, and you'll be in Phoenix. Oh, god damn it now. I'm sorry. You're going to have to take notes and take notes. While you're in Phoenix, you have to do the Apache Trail. You absolutely must do that. And you must do it to the point that you go straight down on a cliff, almost. Once you get down that cliff, which would be dirt road, you can turn up and go back. That, again, you could probably do, like, before you head off to Puerto Penasco. Go do that. It's over on the west side of town. I'm sorry, east side of town. Head back up, take the bypass, drop down south, get to Puerto Penasco. It's only going to be a depending on traffic, 2.5 hour deal. But that's something you can tail in there. So while you're in Phoenix, do Apache Trail, Flagstaff, do the Meteor Crater, and then you can Puerto Penasco. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. Puerto Penasco over to Tucson. Say that Chaplain Dave for me. Take it to 191, which you have passed earlier in your travels on the north side. Take that up to, there we go. That's how we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna do it. Yeah, Clary. I knew 191 sounded familiar. You're gonna take 191 all the way up to Moab. I recommend you hang a left and check out Mexican Hat, and then just turn around and go back. There's nothing in Blanding. There's nothing in Monticello. There's some really cool stuff, like some other cliffs and all that. But Moab, depending on your budget, if you can afford it, well, you got a one-man tent. Arches National Park, just drive through it. It'll take you an afternoon, if that. Go in the morning, go on a not weekend, because there's going to be a line of sheep. All right, you go in, get out, you've seen the arches, okay, beautiful, all right. Then Canyonlands. There's 3 segments to the Canyonlands. What is it? There's Needles, that's worth checking out. There's the main one, the Island in the Sky, that's worth checking out. And then there's a third one that's it's very remote. I would park your ass in Moab if you can afford it for quite some time. I intend one of these days to spend at least a summer out there, because that's how long it's going to take. And it won't be summer, it'll be more fall. It'll be perfect temperature, hopefully, for you. And I would just hike the hell out of Canyonlands National Park. That's absolutely what I would do. Now, if you have the time, there it is. There's Green River. Where's the Salt Flats? Whip up. That's not it. That's the National Forest. You can do a big loop. And that loop is Monticello, Blanding, Fry Canyon, Height, Hanksville. And that goes to Green River. But there's another. You want to check out the Salt Canyon. And that, let's say you do a lot of hiking and you just want a day where you're riding, your legs are shot. I would go up to Highway 70 and just drive. What the hell is the Salt Overlook? Is that it? Maybe that is it. Maybe it is. Well, Highway 24. You want the Salt Canyon Overlook. That's worth driving to check out. A little detour there. So that way you can get that way you can get Utah. The only thing, and maybe this could be a spur you do in Vegas, because it's only 2.5 hours away. If your wife is there down in Vegas, like so, Phoenix had a spur, Apache Junction, or Apache Trail. What else had a spur? Flagstaff had a spur, the Meteor Crater. The spur for Vegas would be Zion National Park, and I would strongly recommend you hike Angel's Landing. You could also do Temple of Siranawa, but you're going to want to bring some shoes and boots, and it's going to get wet. If you got enough time, do both. You know, spend a day up there, depending on how much time Wifey Poo has. But that'd be something where the wife comes out to Vegas, you guys get a rental car, 2-hour drive, stop at Alvaro's Mexican food in St. George, Utah, best Mexican food in the country. Go to Zion. So that'd be a spur you could do in Vegas. There's plenty of stuff I could show you to do, but it's local Vegas stuff and just doesn't compare. Even Red Rocks Canyon, you might be tempted to go say, well, okay, fine, go drive through Red Rocks Canyon, stay in line. By what you've driven through and seen, it's just not going to compare. Zion National Park is worth it. It's definitely worth a spur. So forget the casinos and the gamble. Okay, fine, go gamble. Stay off strip. Okay. I'd recommend one of the station casinos or the Red Rock or what is it? The Santa Fe's on the north side. In either case, wife, rental car, Zion, back, plane, she flies off, you continue your adventure. So that's another spur you can add. Take the notes, add them down. All right, then that puts you kind of Colorado. In Colorado, by this time, if it's November, you're just not going to want to be passing these mountains. You're not going to want to be dealing with this. And God darn it. This is where weather's going to predict everything. Because you've got to make it over the Rockies, and even Santa Fe is at an altitude of 6,000 can get really cold. I'm sorry, Albuquerque is at 6,000. You're going to probably have to leave Denver or Colorado for a later time. If it's unseasonably warm, cool. But November, you're going to have to cross the Rockies somewhere. And the safest way to do that will be to drive all the way back down, not to Highway 40, but to Highway 10. You can stop in Albuquerque, but you're going to have to take a look at weather. Now, thankfully, Utah and Arizona in that area, that's you go through the Navajo Indian Reservation there, that might be warm enough. But to be safe, I would drop all the way down to Highway 10. Weather permits it, drop down to 40 and cut over there. Because your passes should be clear. But you're going to want to tune into the passes. I mean, you're going to be checking weather reports out because you're going so late. But I would not risk going over Colorado unless it was it's 80 degrees, record warmth, and the pass over by Eisenhower Tunnel and Vail Pass are clear and open. Then it's pretty easy straight shot back home. You just get to drive across Nebraska. But yeah, coming out through New Mexico, you got a couple diagonal shots, Roswell to Amarillo, Tucumcari. I've done that a couple times. You shoot at an angle, kind of go through Wichita and Kansas City. Then you're back up the interstate to Des Moines. Or if it's still cold, still bad, you can always go to Dallas-Fort Worth, and then shoot up 35. Make it that way. But that's the loop I would do. If you go fast enough, you can easily get that all in. I think you'd have a fair amount of time to stop at different places and do some of those spurs. But towards the end of that, man, you're probably going to have, if you want to do north first and then come through south, you're probably going to have to avoid Colorado. Because shoot, man, even with my truck, I was like I went down through Albuquerque because I-70 was just a nightmare. And so you're gonna learn to check passes. That's going to be your fun. When you're coming back, you're going to learn to check the passes. All right, questions, answers, ASOConsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.